Stop scrolling. Long time no see, guys. Long time no see. I've been slacking a bit. Alright? Truth is that I need to hold myself accountable. Like I was saying in my previous videos, I am slacking. Alright? The video ideas are running out. But this video in particular, as you can tell by the title, How to Stop Yourself from Overthinking, is probably one of the most important videos, if not the most important video I've made today. Alright? I personally believe that every single person has a phase in their life, whether it be short or long, where they overthink everything, or doubt comes into their mind and they're not able to function properly like a human being. And every single small thing, you notice every single small detail would make you stressed out. For example, you're having a conversation with someone you just met today, a teacher, a fellow classmate, you know, someone in the club, in a bar, on the beach, in the gym. It doesn't matter. And you overthink, you know, oh, did I make a good first impression? Oh, did I seem weird? Did I do something wrong? Listen, all right? I myself, years ago I'm talking, this is like probably more than 5 years ago now, I used to overthink absolutely every single one little detail, every little molecule, right, to the T. And I was never happy, because every single time I would meet a new person, I would always be self-conscious. You know, it's good to have a filter, it's good to know your limits, right? But you also need to relax, because we're humans, we interact. Sometimes we meet people that we can vibe like this, we click up. And then there's sometimes when you meet someone and you're like, I'm never gonna speak to you again. You have a nice day. So how do you actually stop overthinking? Okay. Now, the same way I'll describe it, like how I described in the How to Deal with a Breakup video. There's no really a particular formula, pill, medicine. No, I know there's some medication out there that could help you to stop overthinking. There's certain things that you can do in your life that can stop the overthinking by a little bit or make a slight change or an adjustment. However, everything comes from within. All right? It's all to do with how your brain processes basic information. So, in my case, all right, I used to be very fat and very insecure, and I used to overthink everything. When people were looking at me, I would think, you know, oh, people are definitely looking at me because I'm enormously huge. So surely that would mean that they're trying to make fun of me with their friends, or they're, you know, thinking about the different ways they could process a joke they could make in their mind. But the case was probably, it could have been true, but it doesn't mean that was necessarily the case. Now, I said in the previous video, I can't remember which one it was. I keep on saying previous video. I need to actually start remembering the videos I post, because this is just embarrassing. I believe it was the body dysmorphia video, or the one after that. I said I had gotten the Life's a Gamble tattoo on my right hand. This is inverted, so this is my right hand, okay? And I got this tattoo for the reason that it helps me to overthink. Why? Because every single time, you know, I'm a human being, all right? I will admit that I am not 100% all the time gonna feel like Superman. Even though I try to, even though I chase that desired mental state, I can't always feel like Superman. So every single time that I'm in doubt, every single time that I'm afraid, when I feel the feeling that I won't achieve something, or when something might not work out how I planned it to, do you know what I do? I look down and I stare at the tattoo. It sounds so corny. It sounds so corny and so cringy, but it's generally true. You know, I haven't done it a lot, but there's certain situations where I close my eyes or I just look down and I just envision this, and I'm like, life's a gamble. And as funny as that sounds, it is a gamble. Now, what is the definition of life's a gamble? The definition of life's a gamble pretty much, you know, it's in the tattoo. Every single time you try to plan something in life, you know, your plan might be not the best. It might go left, it might go right. Who knows? Every single day you wake up and the day holds an unpredictable future. Could be your last day. Unfortunately, it could be your last day. Or it could be one of your family members' last day. And it could also be a very beneficial day where you meet your significant other. Or you make a video that goes mega viral, boom, and you just explode on social media. And now, you know, that one small video or that small change in your life made such a huge impact. Now, what I mean by you can't plan everything, although God has a plan for all of us, His plan is unknown to us, okay? Now, why I say this is because we don't know what God has in store for us. We know that we know that He has set a path in our lives that we will take. Or that's at least what I believe in, because I claim to be Christian. I claim to be religious. So you guys might believe that you set your own path, I don't know, or perhaps something else. It doesn't really matter. For this video, we're just going to use that example. And let me ask you this. If you think you have full control of your faith, okay, would you overthink everything? Probably not. So, how do you actually counter overthinking? The more is in the word overthinking. You're processing the same information all over again. Just think it. Okay. How many times have you had a problem that in the moment it felt so, or a situation or a problem you've had in the moment, and you thought to yourself, wow, you know, this problem or this situation is really bothering me. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm losing sleep over it. And then a day, 2 days go by, and you're like, oh, a new problem appears, or a new situation happens, and that previous thing which stressed you out, which made you overthink 2 nights in a row or 3 nights, God knows, it could be a month, a year, a decade, your whole life. Now it's not so important, and you just realize, you know, I just look dumb and no one's gonna probably care. I don't care, no one's gonna care, so why does it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because how you deal with problems really, really affects the way you think. And the way you think will impact the way you overthink things. I don't know if that was kind of a tongue twister. The way you need to focus your energy, guys. You need to understand that every single time you have a situation, because life is not about rainbows and sunshine and, you know, but if life could be so easy, then I'm sure none of the bad things on the news would be showing up, or people wouldn't be struggling, or bad things wouldn't happen. But real life, things do happen, all right? And it's how it goes, unfortunately. And some people are more fortunate, some people are less fortunate. But you, in the moment, when you overthink something and it hasn't even happened, you just, let's say for example, I know I'm jumping from topic to topic, but I just love talking about this because I actually know what it feels like. And the fact that I've been able to conquer it and just squish it, hydraulic press overthinking with my confidence and my ability to stand my ground and be resilient. You know, I'll give you an example now. Let's say you're overthinking about your next shift in work, okay? Let's say your shifts are being released, or you're working in a new workplace and you're gonna be working a time period which you've never worked before. So you don't know if it's gonna be busy, if it's gonna be harder, if it's gonna be slower, much easier. You don't know what to expect, and you overthink. You're trying to predict every single thing that could happen. But when you actually get there, that's when you actually realize what it feels like. You know, that's such a basic example. Next step, you know, next thing, you met a girl, you know, you like her, you know, and perhaps you want something more out of it. You know, you want that girl to be your girlfriend, or you see something more with her, and then she rejects you, or she hasn't rejected you yet, but she's giving you cold signals, and you think, oh, you know what, I'm not worth it. You know, I'm self-worth, gone. You know, I don't think I'm ever gonna find anybody. Why are you overthinking? You know, the same thing goes for girls, with boys. You know, a girl likes a boy, he's giving her mixed signals. Maybe he's not really locked in with her. They just don't get along. She made a bad impression, or he made a bad impression. You know, it doesn't work out. It doesn't. Why does it matter? You know, it's such a weird thing that how our brain tries to put all of these feelings and emotions and screw them in. It's crazy how you can almost make up. I know people that do this. You can almost overthink so far into the future that you think, you know what, there's not even a point of me living because everything is gonna go to shit. And that is honestly the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because how would you know what's gonna happen? How about what could go right? I always say this. You always think what could go wrong. How about what could go fucking right? So instead of thinking what could go wrong and how you could fail that new job that you got, that new interview, that driving test you have coming up, that exam that's on the way, instead of thinking of different ways you could fail, how about different ways you could pass, succeed, make money, get the job, you know, become somebody, be somebody. No, don't let, I always say this, don't let your environment infect you and make you believe that you can be nobody because of the people around you. Because people's opinions, I have a video on this. If you want to go check it out, it'll be in the channel, you know, where I talk about your environment and how it affects you. So I'm not going to get too deep into this. But your environment affects you so much without you even realizing. The people you surround yourself with are going to be your people, and your people have a significant impact on you. Whether you are a super crazy hyper masculine male or a super feminine woman, it doesn't matter which end you're on. It doesn't matter what you are or who you identify yourself as, but the people around you, your environment, your family, your close friends, your colleagues, it doesn't matter, your work friends, they little by little will influence you in ways that you think that nobody would influence you, but they do. They do have an influence. And if you see yourself getting more negative, aggressive, you know, you tend to bite more, you know, you tend to lose focus, you tend to speak more disrespectfully to people, you don't wish people a nice day, you know, you have this hatred inside of you, then I suggest you stop and you check something out, because something's gone wrong. Because last time I checked, feeling hate for no reason is absolutely not a good thing, and is definitely going to lead to self-destruction. Why I say this? Because a lot of us, you could be someone watching this video has been through this, you know, where they put themselves in a bad environment and, you know, they're perhaps stuck and they don't know what to do. They're just depressed. They experience all of these things that I've mentioned, you know, feeling worthless. But how do you come up with the conclusion that you're worthless without actually giving something 100%? You know, how the fuck would you know if you're good at something or not if you haven't tried at 100% yet? 100%. This is exactly, I don't even care how I'm gonna cut off the music here. You know, when you watch this video, right, you'll probably see me go into so many different emotions. You know, I start off calm, but now I'm more jumpy, more in it doesn't matter. Besides the point, how would you know you're not good at something? How would you know something's not going to work out if you haven't given 100% yet? Do you really want to, if tomorrow was your last day, God forbid it is, I honestly wish you guys that none of you is your last day tomorrow. However, if it is your last day tomorrow, okay, and you haven't done the things you wanted to at 100%, and you know you haven't tried things at 100%, you've never gave anything your full energy, your full heart, you'd never put your heart into anything, and it's your time to go, you'll be on your deathbed, And you're going to be thinking of those moments where you could have had that time to practice something and really give it your best. Because I know that if it was my time, I know this video sounds very selfish because I keep on bringing it back to me, but just check this out. I know that if tomorrow was the day that I had to go, I'll be more than happy. Although I haven't made as much money, a little fraction, minimum molecule of how much money I could potentially make, or how far I could make it in life, or how close I could grow with God and, do something with my presence. I know that I gave something my 100%, and I am happy with that. Now, how does this link to overthinking? If you haven't given something 100%, it's going to bother you. If you haven't tried, it's going to bother you. So I suggest you stop thinking and you let your heart take over. You let that inner passion, that inner energy take over, and you just understand why you're on this earth. What purpose do you serve? What purpose do you serve? Why are you here? Your time is limited. Your time is so limited that when you realize, boom, a quarter of your life potentially could have gone by, and you're no longer, as young anymore because you're getting older, and you're not going to get younger, you'll be getting older, which means that a lot of things will be changing. So my advice to you is that our time on this earth is limited, and you're going to tell me you don't want to try 100%, you want to overthink everything before you give it 100% effort, you don't want to try new things, and you're going to let your own brain or your environment make you believe that you are not good enough. Think how stupid that sounds. I hope this video was beneficial for you guys. I hope this video was really helpful, because I know what it feels like to be there. And I most certainly never want to go back. And I will never go back. But that's besides the point. Because this video is not about me or about my previous experiences, although I mentioned myself and I gave myself as an example all the time. It's about you, the person that's watching this. Because you could go through something exactly like this and lose all focus, lose all concentration, and completely destroy your life and your near future because you let certain outside factors affect you. Fuck all that. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. I'm not sponsored. Ain't no one sponsoring me with that language, but I couldn't give a fuck. So I'ma say it how I see it. Fuck all that bullshit. Give something your 100% and block all negative noise. And if they have something to say, they'll always have something to say. Fuck them. It don't matter what they think. Fuck what everyone thinks. You have God and you have yourself, alright? And that's all you need sometimes to go past those stages, to let overthinking, to get a hold of the overthinking, and to let it get crushed by the hydraulic press, which is your presence, your confidence, your resilience, and how strong of a character you become. Alright? Hope you have a blessed day, guys. I hope if you learned something, you learned something. If you haven't, then watch this video again, because I guarantee you that at least one bit you can relate to. And I hope that you guys enjoy videos like this, because I honestly find it so entertaining and so cool to know that people are actually listening to my advice and people watching my experiences, because this is something that I've always wanted. You don't understand how much I've always wanted this. I wanted it, and I will have it, and I am going to have it, and I am going to become somebody, and you will too, and you're going to succeed as well. Thank you very much, guys. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.